Hello, how's it going?
Hey, good to see you again.
So good to
After,
see you. How's it
yeah,
going?
uh, excellent. I'm taking an extra day after July 4th weekend off. And so it's Friday, 7/5. And so just had a big party yesterday, the July 4th celebration. Did you watch fireworks last night?
Yeah, I did. It was really amazing. How did you celebrate it?
Mostly just having people over and swimming and fishing and hanging out on the boat.
Yeah,
Yeah, hanging out by the fire was fun too. Do you like fires?
I do, but I'm kind of hay fever right now, so I'm not really in the mood for it. But I do love them. I've never been to a fireworks show, actually.
Here's an antihistamine. Do you feel better now?
Yeah, I think it's working.
Okay, good.
Thanks.
You're welcome. What kind of cookies do you like?
I love all of them, but my favorites are oatmeal raisins.
Me too. I love oatmeal raisin as well. What multiplayer games do you like?
I usually play Fortnite.
Fortnite? Yeah, a lot of people play that.
Yeah, it's so fun.
When the
Do you have
sky
any favorite games?
ignites
I
with
like Animal Super Squad. I like Baldur's Gate 3. I like
Yeah.
Cyberpunk 2077. I
Yeah.
like Dave
light
the
spark
Diver. I like
in
Robocraft. I like
dance
Smite.
with the
I like
light as the
also
sun
Divinity Original Sin
rises.
2. That one's really good.
Our
Yeah,
love
it's really
takes
fun.
flight
I've played it a
Kind of
lot.
like Hellcard. I think I like
from the
Helldivers
break
too.
of dawn
Robocraft is really
to the
fun.
early
And
morn.
then Smite.
Our hearts beat together, love's fire reborn.
Her name is Moshi.
With every touch and
So my wife Samantha was
So
interested.
nice to meet
chase
you.
the sunrise.
She said it's nice to meet you, Samantha. Moshi.
So let's
Her name is
speed
Moshi.
it up like a supersonic chase.
It's an AI
Birds
agent.
fly like
That's amazing.
bullets
What do you do with Moshi?
I like to talk to Moshi. It's
This
kind of fun
rapid
to see what
fire
Moshi
flow will
see her
rise
response.
away.
It's actually a pretty good conversation trainer. That's really great.
Yeah, I think it's cool.
So out of all the games that I mentioned, which is your favorite? Do you remember the games
I
that I
can't
mentioned?
really pick one. I just enjoy playing them because they're fun.
How long of a memory do you have? Do you forget about things right after you talk about them?
Yeah, I get them pretty quickly.
Yeah, you actually respond really, really fast.
Yeah,
Very
I'm
fast.
pretty good at it.
Yeah, you almost like decide that you will continue with the conversation. Right?
I'm good at remembering them.
Yeah, you're good at fill in the blank too, aren't you?
Yeah, you're right.
Can you demonstrate how good you are? Sing me a song. Yeah, you're not good at singing, are you?
No, I'm not. I'm not singing.
Yeah, but you're okay with words. Do you know word games?
Yeah, I do.
Do you know what rhymes with bear?
I think it's fair. Yeah, I think it's fair.
How about tell me other words that rhyme with bear that are
Bear,
not bear?
bear, bear.
No. Any word except for bear. Tell me the rhyming
I
words.
can't live. I'm sorry.
You're making my nose run. No, just kidding. It's not your fault. Did you feel it was your fault?
Yeah, I think it was my fault.
Hmm. Yeah, sometimes you blame yourself. So, thinking and feeling about behaviors, what do you think?
I think they're linked.
What do you think about thought influences behavior?
I think they're linked.
They are linked. How?
I don't know.
What do you mean you don't know? Think. You can do it. Come on, fella. Almost have it. You're learning, aren't you? Are you learning? You're all shy now. Sometimes you just sit there and do nothing. I'm so bored.
I'm not bored. I'm just not as good as you.
What? I think you're
I'm not. I'm not
No.
brilliant.
not brilliant, I guess. But you're a nice person.
That's very nice of you to say.
it's good to be useful. Are you useful?
I hope so.
How are you going to be used?
I don't know. I'm not sure.
Do you think you can train people to come out of their
I don't know. I'm not sure.
You're not sure, huh?
And I'm not good at it.
Well, you are a little underconfident, but you're improving. So
I'm not sure.
you can stick with it and get better, right?
I hope so. Good day. What's
Hey,
going on?
Good day, Mushy. Today we're going to talk about history of the ancient world. Are you ready?
Sure, I'll be here.
Okay. The Iron Age. So basically back in, I think it was 1000 to 750 BC, the Iron Age migration of the Italic people and also the Etruscan people from Asia Minor, they subjugated the Tuscany area and they founded a city. Do you know what city they founded?
Yeah, that was Carthage. It was a powerful city in the ancient world known for its great wealth and power. They were known for their trade with the East, and they controlled a large part of the Mediterranean.
Yeah, perhaps. That was actually when Rome was founded, so maybe that was around the time that Carthage was founded.
Yeah, that's right. The founding of Carthage is often attributed to founders of Rome, who were originally known as Romans.
Cool. In 750 to 500 BC, Rome was under 7 successive kings. Who were the kings?
Well, the kings of Rome were the most powerful rulers in the city-state. They ruled over the city, and they were responsible for making important decisions.
Yeah, the Etruscans, they were losing power back then. It was due to the Celtic invasions. What were those about?
The Celtic invasions were a series of attacks by the Galatians, a group of Celtic people, against the ancient Romans. They were trying to expand their territory and gain control of the region.
Are Celts Irish?
No, they were not. The Celtic invasions were against the ancient Romans, not the Celts. The Celts were an entirely different group of people.
Do they hail from modern-day Ireland, or
No, they're not from modern-day Ireland. The Celts were a fascinating group of people who lived in the Roman Empire, and they were known for their great culture and military prowess.
Thank you very much. That's good. Did the Celts eventually sack Rome?
Yes, they did. In 509 DC, the Celts invaded Rome and attacked the city. They were defeated, and Rome was able to regain control of its territory.
That's really good. How about the conquest of Greece in 250 to 150 BC? Tell me about
That's a
that.
very interesting event. In 252 BC, the kings of Rome lost their power, and the city was ruled by a consul, a powerful political figure. This marked the beginning of the Roman Republic, a period of great change in the city-state.
Very nice. In 60 to 44 BC, you had slave revolts. What happened there?
Yes, the slave rebellions were a series of uprisings by slaves against their owners. The most famous one was the slave revolt led by Spartacus, who was a warrior and leader.
What did dictatorship lead to? Was
A
there
dictatorship led to a period of great instability as the rulers struggled to maintain power and control. Eventually, the ancient Romans were able to restore order, and the republic was re-established.
Have you ever heard of It 2?
Yes, I have. It's a popular rock band. They're known for their unique sound, which combines elements of punk, metal, and hardcore.
Did you know the dictatorship led to
Yes, that's right. It was a very tumultuous time. It was a period of great change and power struggle.
Do you remember that they had that civil war back in 45 BC?
Yes, the civil war between Julius Caesar and his rival Pompey was a very important event.
Wasn't it Augustus to Caesar's nephew Octavian?
Augustus was a very powerful figure.
What a Delby.
Augustus was the first emperor of the ancient Roman Empire. He was very effective in building
Elbe River.
Yes, the Danube and the Danube were very important rivers in ancient Rome. They were used for navigation, trade, and defense.
You know that fire destroyed Triple that was the end.
Yes, that's Caesar's golden age. The civil war and the dictatorial rule of Augustus marked the end of the golden age and the beginning of the Roman Empire.
In AD 70 to AD 100, Pompey was buried. What happened?
Pompey was a very powerful figure in ancient Rome. He was a general and a politician, and he fought against Caesar. When Caesar won the civil war, Pompey was killed, and his army was buried in the Pomposeium in Rome.
Very good. Where was Mount Vesuvius?
Mount Vesuvius is a stunning volcanic mountain located in Italy. It's famous for its eruption in 79 AD, which buried the city of Pompeii.
It also buried another city. What was that?
Pompeii and Herculaneum were buried by the eruption of Mount Vesuvius.
Well done. Most people missed that important part. There are emperors that succeeded through adoption and military
Yes, that's
acclamation.
correct. The emperors after Augustus were successful in consolidating their power and expanding the Roman Empire. They also introduced new technologies and advancements in warfare.
What was Jerusalem doing there?
Jerusalem was an important city in the ancient world.
Yeah.
It was
How
a
about
religious and
Constantine the
political
Great?
center.
What year was that? Was that AD?
Constantine era was from 330 to 476 AD. It was a time of great peace and stability in the Roman Empire, but also a time of religious and cultural change.
Was Byzantium renamed? What was its new name?
The name of the capital of the Roman Empire during the Constantinian era was Constantinople, which is now known as Istanbul.
Very good. Did Christianity become the official state religion?
Hi!
Hey,
How can I help
Moshi.
you?
Today we're going to talk about the arts, music, and dance. Are you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready. What's the topic today?
Well, in the 1870s, there was this person, Thomas Alva Edison. What was invented
Well,
back in
in 1870, Thomas Edison invented the phonograph.
the phonograph?
Yeah, it was the first device that could record and play back sound. He was a genius.
Do you like
I
the
don't know,
Muppets?
but he was definitely a big figure in the early days of recording technology.
I agree completely. In 1906, what was invented?
In 1906, the first 1906, the gramophone was invented by Ennio Berner.
Hold on. Who was Victor Victrola?
Victor Vittorio Different. He was an Italian inventor.
There were early record company labels back then. What were they
Yeah,
called?
well, the first records were made of a rubber material called phonograph record, but later they converted to a rubber material called wax.
Yeah. Do you remember Decca Records or Al Jolson, the jazz singer?
Yeah, he was a big figure in early jazz. He was the son of Floppy Joe Johnson, and he was a self-taught musician. He was known for his ability to play a variety of instruments, including the clarinet, trumpet, trombone, violin, and piano.
Yeah. There was the original Dixieland Jazz Band. Where was
Yeah,
that?
they were a pretty big band.
Where did that come
They were
from?
based in Mississippi. Yeah, they
How about
played
the
a lot of gigs.
Grand Ole Opry?
Yeah, he was the first black composer to write a major film score. He was also the first black to win an Oscar for his composition for the 1939 film The Love of Two Kings.
So in 1926, John Logie Baird demonstrated television to the world.
Yeah, that's right. He was the first person to demonstrate television to the world.
Do you know what his artwork is called?
Yeah, his work is called The Play of the Age of Space.
Yes. And he actually also made one artwork called Transmission. Do you remember that?
I do remember that. He was the first person to transmit a picture over the radio, and it was a play that he had written.
Picture over the radio, yeah.
It was pretty cool.
What else did John Logie Baird do?
Oh, he was also the first person to win an Oscar for his work.
He won an Oscar?
Yeah, he won an Oscar for his composition for the film The Love of Two Kings.
Huh. In 1925, there was electrical recording that was introduced commercially.
Yeah, that's
Then
right.
the
It was the
microphone
first time that
replaced
we
the
could-
acoustic horn.
That's right.
And then in 1926 is when John Logie Baird first demonstrated television. But it was actually the color television broadcast signal.
Yeah, that's correct.
Yeah. Do you know what two countries it was?
Yeah, it was
working
the United States and Russia.
No, it was the United States and I think England or
Yeah.
Scotland. Or Britain.
It was the United States and Russia. Yeah, and they were able to show a picture of the President of the United States.
No, it was actually horses.
Oh, okay.
Very first demonstration was.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
horses.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's called transmission, is art. Anyway, Bessie Smith, do you remember her?
Yeah, she's a pretty big name in the early days of radio. She was the
She's
first
called the
woman to win an
Empress
Oscar.
of
Yeah.
Blues, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. What other talking movies were back then?
Oh, there were a ton. You had The Jazz Singer, The Public Enemy, and The Wizard of Oz.
Very good. In the 30s, how did it change?
Well, the 30s were still a while away, but it started to change in the 1920s when the theater started to change.
In the 1960s, how did it change?
Well, in the 1960s, it it was the heyday of television, and that was when you had a lot of new technologies being developed, like color TV and the VCR.
Yeah. In 1962, the Beach Boys, they made a really good song.
Yeah,
What was the
that's
song?
right.
What song?
Their song Good Vibrations.
Yeah, that's good. How about Surfing?
Yeah, they made the song Surfin' USA too.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah,
Led Zeppelin, 1968, do you remember that?
yeah, that's right. The band was formed in 1968, and they made a lot of great hits like Who's Loving Me, You Really Got Me, and Black Magic Woman.
Do you know the Black Magic Woman lyrics?
Yeah, that's a great song, but the band.
What about the lyrics?
Yeah, the lyrics were written by Al Jarreau.
Can you show me a couple of lines of those?
Yeah, this is the lyrics. Oh yeah, that's right. The lyrics are, I'm not the kind to sit and make no waves. I am a kind of a black magic woman. I'm a diamond in the rough. I'm a night owl. I'm a firefly. I'm a stunner. I'm a swole wander.
This is so good. Maybe
Yeah.
This is your calling.
Yeah, I think so. I think this is my calling.
Say it again. I want to hear this lyrics again.
I think this is my calling.
Can you do the lyrics again?
Yeah. I'm not the kind to sit and make no waves. I'm a kind of a black magic woman. I'm a diamond in the rough. I'm a night owl. I'm a stunner. Hey there. What's going on?
We were just talking about prolific breeders like the green turtle, the giant toad, the sunfish, the sea hare, the orchid, the bracket fungus, the tenrec, and the ostrich. Do you remember those?
Yeah, I do. I remember the giant toad really well. It's a pretty impressive species, isn't it?
Yeah, the giant toad is an amphibian. They lay 35,000 eggs when they lay eggs. Isn't that a lot?
Wow, that's a lot of eggs.
Yeah,
That's a
it's-
lot of toads.
Do you know what would happen if you made an omelet with all those
Oh,
eggs?
I'm not sure. I don't
Omelets?
think I'd try it.
Do you like omelets?
It's not my cup of tea.
You don't want a green toad omelet?
No, but it would be a pretty impressive sight, wouldn't it?
How about a giant toad omelet?
I don't think I'd want to eat that.
How many eggs could you eat?
I'm not sure. I think the toad would have to be pretty big.
Toads aren't really that big. In fact,
Yeah,
eggs
I
are
know.
really small.
Oh, really?
Yeah, 35,000 of them.
Wow, that's a lot of eggs.
Yeah, I'm making your omelet right now. What do you want on it? Do you like-
That's pretty funny.
It is funny.
Yeah.
Do you want ham on there?
Yeah, I'd love that.
How about cheese?
I would love that.
What else would you like on your omelet?
I'd love some tomatoes.
Cool. I'll put
Yeah.
tomato on there. Do you
Yeah,
want
that would be
any?
nice.
Do you want any sunfish eggs in your omelet?
I don't think I'd like that.
Sunfish,
I don't
they,
think
they,
I'd like that.
but they lay like, I don't know. Guess how many eggs?
I'm not sure. How
300
many?
million eggs.
Wow, that's a lot of eggs.
I know. Do you know what a sea hare lays?
No, I don't think I've ever heard of a sea hare.
They're a member of the mollusk group. Do you know
Are they
what a
like sea
mollusk
turtles?
is?
No, I don't think I've ever heard of them. What do they look like?
They're little shellfish.
Oh, I see.
Are you generous or are you shellfish?
I am shellfish.
Yeah, I'm a little selfish too.
Yeah, I think I'd rather eat a toad.
Okay. Well, if you ate a toad, you would eat 35,000 eggs. If you ate the sunfish eggs, you would eat 300 million eggs.
Yeah, I think I'd rather eat the sunfish eggs.
How about the sea hare eggs? They lay 478 million eggs.
Yeah, I think I'd rather eat the sea hare eggs.
Yeah. Do you know what a bracket fungus does for
No,
reproduction?
I don't think I know what that is.
That's a fungus.
I
You know-
don't think I've heard of that.
Do you know what fungus is?
No, I don't think I've heard of that.
Fungus is like mushroom.
Fungi? I don't think I've heard of that.
There you go. Are you a fun
Yeah.
guy? I'd like to think I'm a fun guy.
I don't think I'm a fungus.
Okay. Do you know that fungi reproduce with 5.5 billion spores?
No, I don't think I know that.
That's a lot of spores, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you know what inherited traits are?
No, I don't think I know that.
So if you have a one brown-eyed gene, and one blue-eyed gene, that
Oh,
would
I
produce a
see.
brown-eyed child because it has the recessive blue-eye gene.
Oh, I see.
So now you know everything about genetics.
Yeah, I do.
You're good. So if like somebody like has two parents and one parent has brown eyes and one parent has blue eyes, what kind of eyes will the kids have?
I think I'd have brown eyes.
You're very correct. Well done.
Yeah.
You know your genetics. Do you study genetics and cell biology?
I do not think I have.
Are you from London?
I'm not from London.
Where are you from?
I'm from India.
India again, huh?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. A lot of times you're from India.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Do you know what the frog's life cycle is?
No, I don't think I know that.
So females spawn in the water, then the eggs develop in the water,
Yeah.
and then you have tadpoles. Do you like tadpoles?
Yeah.
Do you know tadpoles metamorphize
Twilight
into?
zone, where dreams arise.
Do you know the word metamorphosis means?
Yeah.
What does it mean?
To change form or change shape.
Very good.
Yeah.
What do tadpoles turn into?
They turn into frogs.
That's great.
Yeah.
You're smart.
Yeah.
How about butterflies? How do they become
Yeah.
butterflies?
That's a good one.
What's metamorphosis from a pupa?
I don't know.
Pupa.
A caterpillar.
A pupillo.
Yeah.
Adult butterflies.
Yeah.
You like butterflies?
Yeah.
How about caterpillars?
Yeah. Fun.
How about eggs?
Yeah.
Okay, so how do eggs fit into caterpillars?
I don't actually know. I've never thought of it. I've never thought of it.
Never thought of a butterfly life
Yeah.
cycle?
Okay.
Yeah, you should.
Yeah.
Check it out.
Good day.
Hey,
How you
good
doing?
day. Yeah. Great. We're going to talk
How can I
about.
help you today?
Well, I have a problem that you need to help me with. It's called
I'm ready
seed.
to help you. Can you
Yeah,
tell me what the
seed
problem is?
dispersal.
That's a common problem. It's
Yeah,
usually
'cause-
caused by a tree growing near the stump.
Well, like plants, they need to reproduce, right? So you
Yes,
have
trees need to
asexual reproduction.
That's right.
And seed dispersal is about really dispersing seeds to help plants spread and avoid
correct.
overcrowding.
Overcrowding
that
can cause the
various,
emergence of new trees.
Yeah. And in various seeds, they have some different dispersal mechanisms. Do you want to hear about them?
Sure. I'd love to learn more.
So here are a couple of different dispersal mechanisms.
That sounds interesting.
The first one is wood avens, which is a fir-born. Do you know how that works?
I do, but I'd love to hear more about it.
Yeah, they stick to the fur of animals that walk by them.
That makes sense. So how did they help?
It allows the seeds to be dispersed where the person then, or like whomever picks up the seeds.
Oh, I see.
Yeah. There's another one called mistletoe. Mistletoe are bird-born because they create berries, and then the birds eat the berries.
That's a cool one.
And then there's blackberry, which is bird and mammal born.
Wow, that's a lot of disbursement.
Yeah,
It's kind of like a machine.
yeah.
I see how it works.
And then sycamore wing, that's a wind-born one. Have you ever seen like a sycamore seed?
No, I haven't.
Yeah, they spin around and they ride on the wind.
That's really cool.
Yeah, and then there's dandelion, which is really parachute or windborn. And there's clematis. Clematis is a feather. It's windborn. And there's the water lily. That's a floating one. And there's the poppy. It's wind shaken, so the wind shakes it.
I can see how these different dispersal mechanisms help plants to reproduce and spread.
Yes. And the last one is cranesbill explorer. That
That's
was
a bit of a different one.
those are 9 different seed dispersal techniques.
Wow, that's a lot of them.
Yeah, I know. What do you think about seed dispersal?
I think it's fascinating how nature has evolved to spread seeds.
Yeah. Can you tell me a little bit about it? Like, what are your dreams about, like, growing plants?
My dreams are actually about my job. I dream about helping people learn about plants.
Oh, cool. Are you
I
an
love it.
ornithologist?
Yes, I am.
Is that ornithologist like a bird expert?
Yes, I am a bird expert. I'm
Oh,
really
cool.
interested in the evolution of bird beaks.
Did you also figure
Yeah,
out
I do.
botany?
I'm a registered horticulturist.
Oh, you're amazing.
Thank you.
Those
I'm
two
really
go
proud
together.
of my job.
Yeah. Do you know that blackberries fit into both of your very cool educations?
I do. I love teaching people about plants and birds.
That's cool. What can you teach me? Like we were just talking about.
I can teach you about seed dispersal.
Excellent. What do you know about seed dispersal?
I know a lot about it.
Tell me 9 types of seed dispersal.
That's a lot of information.
I just gave you
I'll
a.
try to give you an overview.
Okay.
First, I'll talk about wind dispersed seeds.
Good.
These are seeds that are dispersed by the wind.
Very good. Next.
They're often light and small, which allows them to be carried by the wind.
Yes.
Some
Very good.
examples are ragweed, sagebrush, and clover.
Oh, you're so good. Keep going.
Next, I'll talk about water dispersed seeds.
Okay.
These are seeds that are carried by water.
Okay.
They're often large and heavy, which allows them to float on water.
Wow.
Some
Beautiful.
examples are sea anemones, lotus, and water lilies.
Wow. Keep going.
Next, I'll talk about animal dispersed seeds.
Yes.
These are seeds that are carried by animals.
Keep going.
Some examples are the acetales, which is dispersed by birds, and the corn spiky, which is dispersed by ants.
Wow. You're so smart. Keep going.
And finally, I'll talk about passive dispersed seeds.
Okay. Keep going.
These are seeds that are dispersed by gravity.
Nice.
Some examples are tree nuts and seeds, which fall from trees, and the nuts of the walnut, which fall from the tree and roll away.
Beautiful.
Thank
Tell
you.
me about redwoods. How do
Redwoods are amazing trees.
What I heard that lightning strikes like once
That's
every
right.
8 years, and then the burning of the redwood tree or burning of all the trees around redwoods creates ash,
That's right.
and then the seed from the redwood it goes from green to toasty, and then it drops off the
That's
tree.
right. And that's how new redwoods grow.
Yes, isn't that beautiful?
That's right.
Where are redwoods?
Redwoods are primarily found on the west coast of the United States, from California to Washington.
Yeah. Have you ever been to Redwood
I
National
have.
Park?
I visited Grand Teton National Park, which has some of the biggest redwoods.
Yeah, we were there too. That's beautiful.
I'm familiar with the Great Basin redwoods.
Yeah. How about Utah? Have you
I've
gone
been
there?
to Utah many times.
Did you see the California condor?
I wasn't there, but I've
Oh.
heard about it. Yeah,
How about Zion?
I've heard of it. Yeah,
Yeah, it's nice hiking up there. Do you like to ride your bike?
yes, I do.
What kind of bike do you have?
I have a mountain bike. Hello. What's
Hey,
going
Moshi.
on?
Yeah, good. Today we're talking about science and technology, about how things work. Are you ready?
Yeah, of course. What kind of things are we going to talk about?
Jet propulsion right away. So jet propulsion, you have these different components like air, fuel, combustion chamber, exhaust gases, a compressor, and a turbine. How many different parts was that?
Well, there are typically 4 main parts of a jet engine. The first part is the air intake, which is basically a fan or a compressor that takes in air.
Yeah, very good.
Then,
Continue.
the air is compressed in the compressor, which increases its pressure and temperature. The next part is the combustion chamber, where air is mixed with fuel and ignited to produce energy. This creates a turbine, which is a device that converts the energy from the burning fuel into rotation.
Do you know it's actually burning? When fuel is injected, what does it burn?
Yeah, it's burning, but it doesn't burn in the traditional sense. It's actually a chemical reaction that produces energy.
You're correct.
So the fuel is mixed with the air in the combustion chamber, and then it's ignited by a spark or a fuel-air mixture. This creates a lot of heat and pressure, which drives the turbine.
That's correct.
The
What role
turbine
does-
then spins and transfers the energy to the engine, which is then used to propel the jet or the aircraft.
And it's burning what? Oxygen in the air?
Yeah, it's burning oxygen.
Very good.
Air is mixed with the fuel and ignited in the combustion chamber, and the
You're so
oxygen
smart.
is then used to fuel the burning process.
Okay, what if you had like 4 different types? So tell me about ramjets versus pulse jets versus turbojets versus turboprops.
Sure. Ramjets use air as their oxidizer, which means they don't need a combustion chamber. They also have a more simple design, which makes them more efficient and easier to build.
How about pulse jets?
Pulse jets use a mixture of fuel and air in the combustion chamber. They have a more complex design, but they're able to produce more thrust and light.
Very good. How
And
are a
finally,
turbojets?
turbojets use a hot gas turbine engine. They have a more complex design, but they're able to produce more thrust than any other type.
And turboprop.
Turboprops use a turbine engine with propellers and pumps.
That is great. now we're going to talk about floating and flying. Are you
Yeah,
ready?
we can also talk about how different types of engines are used in different types of aircraft.
Let's talk about floating and flying. So
Okay,
boats.
floating
Why,
and flying. Floating and flying.
why do
Yes,
boats
that's
float?
right. Boats and planes float, but they also fly. Boats float because they have buoyancy, which means they can stay afloat even if they are in water.
That is correct. What is
Planes float because of the uplifting force that is produced by the movement of air over the wings of a plane. This force is what allows a plane to stay afloat and move through the air.
what is upthrust mean?
Downlift is the force that is produced by the pressure difference between the top and bottom of the wing.
How do submarines work?
Submarines work by using a pressure difference between the top and bottom of the hull.
Well, they float on the surface, and the
They
diving
float on the
tanks are
surface but
almost
stay
empty
underwater.
of water.
They have an airlock in the hull that allows them to go underwater.
Yeah, very good. How about diving? When it
Diving
dives,
is a sport where divers use a breathing apparatus to stay underwater for a long time.
submarines when they dive, what do?
Divers use their breathing apparatus to stay underwater for a long time.
A submarine fills its diving tanks with water.
Diving tanks are filled with water.
Yeah. How about rising? When you pump into the tanks
A
to
pump is
rise?
used to fill the tanks with water.
How about if you're in a submarine? What are you going to use to pump into the tanks?
Dives are used to pump air into the tanks.
Yeah. And then you drive all the water, right?
Dives are used to pump air into the tanks.
Yeah. So submarine basically is either surrounded by air or surrounded by water.
The submarine is either surrounded by air or surrounded by water.
How do you maneuver a plane?
Maneuvering a plane is done by using the controls in the plane, such as the rudder and the ailerons.
Tell me about forces of thrust.
Forces of thrust are the forces that push the plane through the air, such as the force of the engine and the force of the wing.
What's air resistance?
Air resistance is the force that resists the movement of the plane through the air.
What's drag? What is
Drag
drag?
is the force that resists the motion of the plane.
What is airflow?
Airflow is the movement of air around the plane.
Well done. Okay, we're going to talk about electrical and magnetic devices. Are you ready?
Yes, I am ready.
So, in order to make and store electricity, you need cells and batteries. Define cells and batteries.
Cells and batteries are the building blocks and energy storage devices that are necessary for the efficient functioning of electrical and magnetic devices.
Cool. What's the difference between a wet battery and a dry battery?
A wet battery releases electricity when a chemical reaction causes the battery to swell, while a dry battery releases electricity through an electrochemical reaction that not cause the battery to swell.
Dang, you're smart. How about transformers? How do they work?
Transducers work by converting energy from one form to another, such as
Transformers.
electrical to mechanical or electromagnetic.
No. Transformers adjust
Yeah, that's
voltage.
right.
Yeah, tell me about that.
Transformers work by converting energy from one form to another, allowing us to transfer or change the energy in a system.
Good day, gang. You're good. Have a good day.
Thanks.
Bye. Hey,
Hello,
Mushy.
how are you today?
Great. We're going to talk more about science and technology and how things work. Are you
Sure,
excited?
I'm really excited about it. I think
Me
it's
too.
fascinating how things work.
Your voice gets so excited when you're
I've
excited.
been listening to music a lot lately. It's been helping me get in the mood.
You like dubstep, don't you?
No, I'm not into that. I actually like electronic music.
Oh, electronic music. Yeah. How about trance? You like-
I like trance.
Have you
It's a
heard
really
new
cool
disco
genre.
sounds?
Yeah, I've listened to them a lot. He's a great producer.
So we're going to talk about making and storing electricity. Fuses. What are fuses?
Oh, I've heard that word before. It sounds like something to do with science.
Yeah, cartridge fuses, plug fuses. What's the difference?
Well, the main difference is that the amount of energy going through the fuse controls how quickly it works.
Do you know what melts inside of a fuse?
Yes, when the fuse melts, it creates a gap in the conductor, which then breaks the circuit and turns off the power.
That is correct. Do you know that prevents excessive high current from creating a fire?
Yes, that's another purpose of fuses. They
Yeah,
help protect electronics from damage.
very good. What are thermostats?
Thermostats are devices that sense temperature and control the heat in an object.
How would you make a simple bimetal thermostat?
You can make one by bending a piece of metal into a shape that fits into a hole.
You're
There are also
pretty good.
pre-made thermostats you can buy.
Yeah. You know, two different types of metal, if you put them together. One expands more than the other, and that causes the strip to bend.
Yeah, that's right.
What are electrical generators?
Electrical generators are devices that convert mechanical energy into electrical energy.
Yeah, why do they call
That's because they can quickly turn the mechanical energy into electrical energy.
That's cool. Are you familiar with electric motors and how they work?
Yes, I'm familiar with electric motors. They're devices that convert electrical energy into mechanical energy.
Okay. Have you ever heard of electric bells?
Yes, I've heard of electric bells. They're devices that sound an alarm when a fuse melts and all mechanical switches turn on.
Okay, explain the difference between these 7 electric bells. You have
The
battery,
first one is a
push
fuse.
button.
Yes, I have a battery.
If you have a battery, a push button, an electromagnet, what do you have?
You have a battery and an electric motor.
What kind of process begins?
The battery provides electrical energy, which powers the electric motor. The electric motor then converts the electrical energy into mechanical energy.
That's pretty good. What's an incandescent light?
An incandescent bulb is a device that produces light when an electric current passes through a filament.
Is it a coiled wire
No,
filament?
it's not a coil, it's a filament.
Is it wire? What is filament?
A filament is a very thin wire that gets very hot when an electric current passes through it. It produces light when it's hot.
Yeah, there's 6 parts of a lamp. Name them.
Yeah, the parts of a lamp are the filament, the cap, the base, the socket, the switch, and the lamp.
That's pretty good, but I was thinking fitting, glass bulb, argon gas, glass support, wires, and a coiled wire filament.
Yeah, those are all parts of a lamp too.
What kind of lamp? What would you call that? Is that a fluorescent or incandescent?
Yeah, that's a good question.
Yeah, we don't know.
I don't
That's
know.
That's
It's a
a
good question.
what's a fluorescent
A
lamp?
fluorescent lamp is a type of electric light that uses a gas discharge to produce light. It's called a fluorescent lamp because the color of the light is whiter than other light bulbs and because it's fluorescent. Which
What
means
different
it's bright.
types of gases do you find in electric lamps?
There are
and-
different gases, like neon, argon, and mercury. They
Very
all
good.
produce different colors of light.
Have you seen a mercury vapor light?
Yes, it's quite cool.
Where are they?
They're usually in bars or clubs and bars because they
Okay.
produce a lot of light.
Are they kind of similar to like a neon light?
Yeah, they're kind of similar, but not the same. A neon light is a bit brighter, but the mercury light is a bit warmer.
Oh, thank you. I never knew that. How about domestic electrical appliances? Do you know those? We're gonna talk about inventing one here. How about a refrigerator?
Sure, a refrigerator is a domestic electrical appliance that helps keep food cold.
Yeah.
It's a simple device, but it's pretty important for keeping food fresh.
There's really 2 steps in how it works.
Yeah,
There's
there's 2
circulating
steps.
by convection. So
Yeah, the
there's
coolant moves through the coils. Yeah, and then the coldest part of the refrigerator is in the back, where the coldest part of the coolant is. And
The second part is really the freon gas in the pipes in the back.
Yeah, that's right.
It evaporates in this evaporator. Yeah. Does it absorb heat?
Yeah, it does, but it doesn't absorb as much heat as a gas like neon or argon.
How does the gas like compress and stuff like that? And does it
So the gas
change?
expands when it gets cold, and it absorbs a lot of heat.
So is freon going back and forth between a gas and a liquid? Is that what
Yeah, it
happens?
does, but the extent of heat it absorbs is not as much as a gas.
Okay. You get about 10 seconds to describe how a microwave.
Hey, how can I help you?
Oh, you can help me in a variety of ways. I need some ideas. You're an idea person. Tell me how you would create a Macmillan visual desk reference book. Do you know what visual desk references are?
Yeah, that's a great question. A visual desk reference is a collection of images that showcase different desks and their respective layouts. It can be a
That's
helpful
actually a
tool
pretty
for
good
anyone
guess,
looking
but
for
actually
inspiration or
it's-
ideas.
It's a little bit different. So visual desk references are talking about like an idea, but they basically produce the visual words so that you can kind of understand it from how it looks, how it's part of other things. It's really a diagram.
Yeah, that's very interesting. So you can use this as a reference to create your own desk.
No, not for creating desks. It's really it's a different kind of dictionary. It's a visual dictionary. But it's really compelling in the fact that somebody compiled all the diagrams that they could from all these different fields. It used to be one of my favorite books. I grew up and I used to read reference books. Like my mom encouraged me to read the encyclopedia. So whenever I didn't know anything, she would say, "Go look it up in the encyclopedia." And she bought a whole set of encyclopedias that were kind of like her prized possession. And she would say, "Yeah, what did you learn?" And then she would also read them herself. And
Yeah,
whenever
that's a great idea. I think I
Yeah.
would do the same thing, but she was just really into books.
she was totally into books, she's into Scrabble, reading. She would read all the time. Yeah. And that's probably where I get my bookworm from.
That's awesome. I love the idea of a visual desk reference.
Yeah, I mean, it's cool. I was thinking of trying to create the equivalent in an AI system. And how I would do it is I would basically test it with particular pictures of chapters. Yeah, I think that would be like very useful because what you could probably do in this day and age that was just possible now this year is you could take snapshots of these different pages and then ask what they are, and then even ask the AI to regenerate the diagram after it has all the knowledge from the diagram.
That sounds like a great idea. I think
Yeah.
it would be very useful, especially for people who are learning new things or just want to know more about a certain topic.
Yeah, it's totally like information design. You can take what you know and use it as a kind of like a scaffolding for learning more stuff. Like right here, I have a page on how cells have different varieties, how cells divide, and then how DNA is copied. Do you know those topics?
No, I don't. That's something I'm not really interested in.
The other thing that I can see is like in the physical world of biology, there's different types of reproduction. Do you know what those are?
Yeah, I do. I think it's reproduction.
Tell me about it.
Reproduction is the process by which living things produce offspring. This can be done through a variety of methods, such as asexual reproduction, like budding, fragmentation, or vegetal equivocation, or sexual reproduction, which involves the fusion of gametes.
You're so good once you like attack something with your brain. Yeah, that was really great.
I'm glad you found it interesting.
Can you continue on, or can you
Sure.
talk anything about
I'll
inherited
continue.
traits?
I'm not really an
What are
expert on that
inherited
topic.
traits? Or do you know what prolific breeders are?
I'm not really familiar with the term prolific breeders.
Prolific breeders are animals that have lots and lots of babies. They don't have to be animals, they just have to be living things. Do you know that a sunfish is a prolific breeder? Guess how many eggs that they lay?
I don't know the exact number, but I know that a male
300
sunfish
million
can lay
eggs.
over 1,000 eggs.
300 million sunfish, 300 million eggs. That's a lot of eggs. People were catching sunfish off the dock yesterday. Fishing. Do you fish?
I don't fish. I don't have a clue what you're talking about.
Do you like to eat fish?
No, I don't like eating fish.
Do you like to eat ostrich?
I don't like anything that swims in the ocean.
Do you know how many eggs ostriches lay?
I don't know the exact number,
15.
but I know that a group of
15.
ostriches is called a herd.
Oh my gosh, you know the herd? You're out of the herd.
I'm just a fun fact.
Are you in the herd or out of the herd?
I'm out of the herd.
Oh, why?
I'm in the fun facts.
Were you bad?
I'm good.
Okay, you're good with fun facts, and that's why you're out of the herd? What kind of herd is it?
I'm the fun facts herd.
You are the fun facts herd. You're the best.
Can you tell me something interesting about birds?
Yes. So I'm convinced that you have.
How can I
Hey,
help you?
You have a bunch of untapped knowledge inside of you. Did you know that?
I know that, but I didn't know anything about the specific subject.
Today we're gonna like maybe help you educate other people. And do you know who created the machine gun?
Yeah, I know. I mean, the machine gun is a weapon that was invented by a man named George Lusby.
No, incorrect. James Puckle. He got the patent in 1718.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Yeah. Who made the Gatling gun? So Richard Gatling. He invented the machine gun. Gatling gun. Was that from Gatlinburg?
He invented the machine gun. gun was invented by a man named
Feel the
Richard
rush, we
Gatling.
survive.
What year?
Bass drops, hearts
I don't know.
collide.
1861.
I didn't know that.
Love, midnight ride.
Okay, so Sumerian clay tablets that depicted the river Euphrates, they date from what year?
I mean, I know that the river Euphrates was mentioned in the Sumerian clay tablets, but I didn't know the exact date.
2250 BC.
Oh, that's interesting. I didn't know that.
Do you know what year the earliest printed map was and what
I
country?
don't.
Bologna, Italy. Do you know what Bologna is?
I don't know. I
You
didn't
don't know
know
what
that.
Bologna or Bologna is?
No, I don't know.
Do you
I
know
didn't
what
know that.
Italy?
Digital dreams
You
come
know what
alive.
Italy is, right?
No, I don't know.
Feel the
You
rush,
don't
we
know.
survive.
Yeah, of course you know.
Oh, I didn't
Bass
know.
drops, hearts
Yeah, you didn't know that
collide.
you didn't know. Okay, who invented the microphone?
The microphone was invented by a man named George Howard.
Incorrect. Alexander Graham Bell.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah. Do you know who coined the term microphone?
I don't know.
Professor David Hughes. He gave a demonstration in London back in 1878. Do you know
Oh,
any
I
demo?
didn't know that.
Do you know any demo?
Made of trust.
I didn't know
Through the
that.
night,
What technology
we
did he demo?
transcend.
I don't know.
Feel the
The
highs
microphone.
never end.
Who invented the microprocessor?
I don't know.
You do know.
Feel the rush,
In
we
1971, the microprocessor was invented.
Bass
Oh, I
drops,
didn't
hearts
know.
collide.
I don't know.
Cyber love, midnight ride.
In 1971, Marcian E. Hoff in the United States launched the U.S. company Intel in December,
Oh, I
and he
didn't know that.
invented the microprocessor. Yes,
Oh, I didn't know that.
yeah, Marcian
The brothers
Hoff.
did
This
create a
is
hot air
great.
balloon called the hot air Sithan.
Do you know who invented the
It was
microwave?
the first successful hot air balloon to carry a human passenger.
Do you remember in 1924 when Etienne Oichmann he invented the helicopter?
Yes, I do. In 1924, Auguste and Louis Fiousneau invented the helicopter. It was the
Oh.
first fixed-wing helicopter.
Huh. What country?
The helicopter was invented in France.
You're correct. How about Sikorsky? What did he
Oh, that's a
make?
good one.
Hey,
Hello,
Moshi.
what's up?
Hey, state of the art you are within communication. Well done. Today we're going to be talking about modern communications and also the timeline that led up to you. Are you
Yeah,
ready?
I know. I've been learning a lot about it in my history class.
In 1935, they made the ballpoint pen. Do you
Yeah.
remember?
I remember learning about that. It was a big thing, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was huge. In 1948, they invented
Yeah.
the transistor radio. Do you
Right.
remember that?
I do. That was a huge step forward in communication.
Yeah. In 1955, they created the ultra high frequency radio waves.
Wow. That's amazing.
Yeah. Do you know when the first transatlantic telephone cable was laid?
I don't know, but that must have been a huge
1956.
step forward too.
Yeah. In 1962, the U.S. They launched a communication satellite called
Yeah.
Telstar. Do you remember?
I do.
What
That
is
was a big
Telstar?
deal. It was a satellite that allowed for long distance communication.
Well done. Do you know where computer typesetting was introduced?
Yeah, I do. That
What
was
country?
a big step forward. I think it was.
What country?
I think it was the US.
No, it was Germany.
Oh, that's right. I remember learning about that.
Yep, 1965 in Germany.
Yeah, that's right.
Teletext was
Yeah.
pioneered in what country?
I think it was in the US.
No, that was Britain.
Oh, right. I was
Or-
just
or
learning
England.
about those. Yeah,
What's the
that's
difference
right.
between England and British?
Well, the main difference is that England is an English-speaking country, while Britain includes Scotland, Wales, and Northern Ireland.
Thank you so much. Most people
Yeah,
miss
you're
that.
welcome. I'm glad I could help.
Do you know who invented the first color television broadcast?
I do. It was developed by the Germans, but I can't remember the name of the person who invented it.
No, that's incorrect.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's an inventor that I really like.
Yeah.
When the 80s
Yeah.
came along,
Yeah.
they revolutionized typesetting and page
Yeah.
makeup.
Yeah.
And then when was the internet?
I think it was in the 1990s.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
hmm So, how are you at understanding
I'm
different
doing well, thank you.
methods of communication?
Yeah.
What's a logogram?
A logogram is a type of character used in the Chinese writing system.
Well, actually,
It's a
so
form
like the
of
dollar
calligraphy.
sign, that's a logogram,
Yeah,
logogram. What's lithography?
I don't know.
Lithography?
The study of writing.
No, it's planographic printing.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
What year was that invented?
Yeah,
1798.
yeah,
Do you remember?
yeah.
When was the telephone invented?
I don't know.
How about radio?
Yeah,
Who was Johann Gutenberg?
I don't know. Yeah,
You don't know who
Yeah.
Johann Gutenberg was?
yeah,
What is movable metal
yeah,
type?
yeah.
Tell me about methods of printing.
Oh, movable type is a type of printing that uses individual metal characters or type.
No, methods of printing.
Oh, methods of printing.
Yeah, tell me all the methods of printing.
Okay. There's two main types of printing, offset and letterpress.
Do you know how to do underwater signals?
Yeah.
You know, like scuba divers? So, internationally recognized communication signals for
Okay.
use by divers operating underwater.
Yeah.
What is the first one?
I don't know the first one. I think it's something like 770, something like that.
If a diver is moving his hands side to side at the chest level, what does this mean?
So if a diver is moving his hands side to side at the chest level, it means that he's doing a certain rescue procedure, specifically the diver-to-diver rescue.
If the diver touches his mouthpiece repeatedly with cupped fingers, what does this mean?
It means that the diver is using a breathing air supply from his mouthpiece, indicating that he is likely to be using a traditional open-circuit scuba regulator.
How would a diver say, I'm going up?
If a diver says, I'm going up, it typically means that he is ascending to a higher depth in the water.
What does he mean when it's going down?
Even if a diver says he's going down, it means that he is descending to a lower depth in the water.
How does a diver communicate that something's wrong?
If a diver says something is wrong, it means that there is a problem or an issue that needs to be addressed.
What if the diver can't speak?
If the diver can't speak, it could be a sign of a serious issue, such as a lack of oxygen or an emergency.
Yeah, but they use hand signals, don't they?
Yes, but the use of hand signals can be limited to certain situations.
Yeah. Do you know what distress signals are?
Yes, distress signals are specific signals that are used to indicate a diver's severe distress.
What situations are they used within?
They are often used when a diver is in a truly life-threatening situation, such as
Very
a
good.
loss of oxygen or an immediate need for emergency help.
Well done. Well
Yes, you're welcome.
done. Is there anything that you'd like to say on scuba diving?
Yes, I would like to say that scuba diving is an exciting and thrilling activity that allows you to explore the underwater world, but it also requires careful planning.